Hello, friends, and welcome into NBA Now. I am Tom Downey, going to take you through the latest NBA rumors and news around the association. And we begin with one Chris Paul and the New York Knicks, and even Carmelo Anthony. More on that coming up. So, you might have seen our previous video that Frank Isola reports the Knicks are, quote-unquote, gathering intel on Chris Paul for potentially pursuing an off-season trade of the, I guess he still counts as a star point guard in the NBA. Then, more recently, the New York Post has written that there are whispers that new Knicks president Leon Rose could attempt to add Melo and CP3. Now, we'll get to Melo, but one key note here on Chris Paul, 2 years, $85.5 million. You bring that on, you might limit your opportunities and ability to add a big-name free agent or several big-name free agents in that strong 2021 free agency class. Although, to be fair, the Knicks' track record as of late hasn't been that good at actually pulling that off. Now, the Melo side of it would be a fascinating reunion for Melo and the Knicks. We know how that ended not that long ago. Melo will be a free agent this offseason, going to be 36 next year, but he should be cheap. So as the Post put it, it was a low-risk, high-reward type of move. Now, if you're wondering, wait, why would the Knicks want Melo and Anthony? Well, A, those still have some star power behind their names, and that could be valuable. More importantly, I believe, it's because that Melo and CP3 are former clients of Leon Rose, so making a pitch to come to New York might be a little bit easier for the Knicks' new president. Now, Paul and Melo, quite frankly, have had a bit of a resurgent season for the Thunder and for the Blazers, respectively. Chris Paul has been a really good player for Oklahoma City and a surprisingly good year for them. Melo, the efficiency is still not quite what you want it to be. We know his defensive issues, but he hasn't been anywhere near the liability that I and many others thought he was going to be, so my apologies to Melo there. Some Knicks fans, or I guess non-Knicks fans as well. Should the Knicks add Melo and CP3 in the offseason? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I will make this the pinned comment of this video. So if you get an ad break here, scroll on down there and cast your votes. It's Y for yes and N for no. Let's talk about Lance Stephenson now, as the Athletic's Shams Charania reports that the Pacers and Stephenson are, quote, in strong talks on a deal. Now, Stephenson, of course, has spent much of his NBA career with the Indiana Pacers. He is currently playing for the Flying Leopards. Don't know how that makes sense from an animal standpoint. Awesome team name, though, for the Chinese Basketball Association. He's open to a reunion. Now, this also flies in the face of a previous report that said there was an interest from Indiana. And China the CBA, Chinese Basketball Association, must approve Stephenson jumping back overseas to America. But it'd be his third stint with the Pacers, and with Indiana dealing with some injuries at that guard forward wing position, Stephenson could make some sense. 9 points for him this across his career, by the way, so you know how Stephenson's been. Some highs and some lows. He's always been, he's been Lance Stephenson. How else could I even really describe it there? Veteran player, Pacers in the midst of a playoff push, maybe could bring in some added wing depth for a team that is kind of in the need for it. Steph Curry, he's up next here, diagnosed by the Warriors team doctor with quote-unquote seasonal flu back on Saturday. Now, the Warriors made it very clear they do not think this is the coronavirus, which is important to mention in today's age as the NBA continues to look at potential, backup plans, emergency protocols, whatever you want to call it, if in the event they have to enact those because of the coronavirus. Curry's only played in 5 games this year. It has been a lost season for both Curry and the Golden State Warriors. You lose Durant, then Klay Thompson's hurt. Curry was hurt for most of the season. This hasn't gone their way. But they're going to get a high draft pick, so it's not all bad in the end. Curry should return at some point this season, but in the end, it's just to maybe get some chemistry developed with one Andrew Wiggins because they're not going anywhere this season. Now, if you are a Warriors fan, maybe you want a custom jersey. Heck, but maybe you're not a Golden State fan. That's okay, too. Head over to chatsports.com/NBA Custom. That is NBA Custom. There are all types of custom NBA jerseys, 50% off. Yeah, it's a fantastic deal, right? Normally $100, get them for just $50. I always like those Magic jerseys, by the way. They got Knicks ones, too. All kinds of NBA teams, all types of colors, both the main colors and even some of the alternate jerseys available, like the Warriors have their town jerseys. It's chatsports.com/NBA Custom. I'll put that link in the comments and the description for you guys to go click and shop. An update here on Giannis and his injury. I guess relatively good news here for Giannis and the Bucks. A minor joint capsule sprain in his left knee, so it's not ACL, it's not a tear, something like that. It's minor. Now, he was injured back in Friday's loss to the Lakers, and he will miss at least 2 games with that injury. The 2 games kind of specific here, because that's the rest of the Bucks' road trip. After that, they will reevaluate and see where things stand. But for now, only a 2-game loss for Giannis and the Bucks, but maybe more. Either way, it shouldn't be a long absence for one of the best players in the NBA. Now, as you probably heard, the Nets and head coach Kenny Atkinson parted ways. They said mutually agreed, and that's fine, but clearly there were some issues on both sides. There are also reports, mostly coming out of the local New York, Brooklyn media, that several players wanted him out. More on that in a second. Now, the Nets should have a variety of options to replace Atkinson, who I like the job he did in Brooklyn. I think the Knicks should go hire him. But one potential replacement for Atkinson in Brooklyn is Ty Lue, and Yahoo Sports reports that one Kyrie Irving wants Lue as his next head coach. Of course, Irving played under Lue in Cleveland. There was some success there, no doubts about it. And let's not forget, Ty Lue nearly ended up as the head coach of the Lakers this past year. Of course, he did not get that job. He's now hanging out with the Clippers as an assistant coach. And his path to success, or I guess coaching in the NBA, has been so unusual. Remember, he won the NBA championship as an interim coach, only 41 games in that magical run by the Cavs, 2015-2016. Then this past year, or not this past year, the years after that, back-to-back losses in the NBA Finals, fired last year after just 6 games, and then this past season has been the Clippers assistant coach. Kind of crazy the path that he has taken throughout his NBA career. I think at some point he gets a second chance. Maybe it is with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, The Athletic mentioned some other names who have head coach experience. Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, some media people always seem to get linked to jobs. Their last head coaching jobs, of course, Golden State for Mark Jackson, Houston for Jeff Van Gundy. Tom Thibodeau has been a head coach before with both the Bulls and the Timberwolves, although both times that tenure didn't quite end the way things wanted it to go. Jack Vaughn right now is the interim head coach. Players seem to like him. After all, I put DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup over Jarrett Allen. And then Jason Kidd, which is hilarious to me because the Nets tried that already. 1 year, and then he went to Milwaukee and was not great and is now currently an assistant coach for the Lakers. So who will be the Nets head coach next season? Let me know in the comments section. Still early. I kind of think that Ty Lue, especially if Kyrie wants him, we know how much power players have in today's NBA. I wonder if Ty Lue might be the most likely outcome in the end for Brooklyn. I want to make a note here on the Lakers and Derrick Rose. I didn't really see this mentioned at all. It was a little note tucked in on The Athletic that the Lakers did make an offer for Derrick Rose at the NBA trade deadline. Now, as we can all obviously infer, the Pistons wanted more in return. But those talks could resume because Derrick Rose under contract next year, maybe LA makes another push for him. Now, the reported offer from Shariana over at The Athletic was the Lakers get Derrick Rose and the Pistons get Alex Caruso and draft pick compensation. Now, that picks was not detailed out. Lakers don't have very many, so it's kind of tricky to make it work. I get why the Pistons turned that trade down. That's not great value for Derrick Rose. Maybe in the offseason, be it from LA or somebody else, they can get more in exchange. Now, the Lakers are still one of the top favorites to win this year's NBA championship. So who do you think will win? Cast your votes in the comments section. Is it the Bucks, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Rockets? Who is it? Let me know. And by the way, feeling good about your bet or your pick, go over to BetDSI. They have NBA title odds constantly updated. The Bucks are the favorite plus 220. Then it's the Clippers and Lakers. Flip those two in the order, I should say. And then a huge drop-off, Boston and Houston. So if you feel good about Boston or Houston, you can make a lot of money there. So if you want to bet on the NBA title odds or just, the games that happen all the time, it's at chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NBA120. That is NBA120 at chatsports.com/bet. Gets you a 120% deposit bonus. All right, last note here is on Jeremy Grant, and I think undervalued player in the NBA. Is that fair? Maybe underrated by a lot of the more national people because Jeremy Grant isn't a household name. He's not a superstar player, but he's a really good role player, and NBA teams need those guys. Now, he has a $9.3 million player option for this offseason. The Denver Post seems to think that he's going to decline that. Now, Grant did say he was open to sticking in Denver. Here was his quote. "We'll see how it goes in the offseason. It's definitely all situational, but I'm definitely comfortable here. I love my teammates, love the coaches, everything." And Grant's raw numbers don't jump off the page to you, but he's been really good for them. He has been that reliable, kind of that 3-4 swing guy, good defender as well, brings value. Denver has both Paul Millsap and Jeremy Grant's impending free agency to think about. I am very curious to see which route they end up going in what could be a pivotal offseason for Denver.